Okay, so have you ever thought about all the waste the furniture industry creates?
Oh, yeah, it's a lot.
Tons each year.
It's really a problem.
Yeah, it's a real environmental challenge.
Mm.
But here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
You can turn this problem
Yeah,
into a profitable and sustainable business opportunity
I like it.
through upcycling furniture.
Okay.
We've got this amazing guide here,
Yeah.
all about starting an upcycled furniture business.
Awesome.
And it is packed with
Love it.
practical tips
Right.
and inspiring success stories.
I love it.
So-
So what's fascinating to me is how upcycling really taps into
Yeah.
that desire for unique pieces,
Right.
sustainable pieces.
Yeah.
And it's not just about saving money.
Right.
It's about making a statement with furniture that has history
Exactly.
and like a soul. Yeah.
It seems like people are moving away from those cookie-cutter furniture stores
Yeah, totally.
and looking for something with more character.
Yeah, exactly. Upcycling offers that perfect blend of sustainability,
Yeah.
affordability, one-of-a-kind design.
You bet.
Plus, you're giving these discarded pieces a new life,
Yeah.
reducing waste,
It's true.
and minimizing your environmental impact.
I'm already seeing dollar signs.
Yeah.
And the guide emphasizes how accessible this business model is.
Yeah.
You don't need
You don't need much to
a
start.
fancy workshop
No.
or tons of expensive equipment to get started.
You can find amazing pieces that are just waiting for a makeover at
Yeah.
thrift stores,
So-
garage sales,
Yeah.
or even online through platforms like Craigslist,
Oh, yeah.
Facebook Marketplace.
I love it.
It's about seeing the potential in something that others might overlook.
The guide gave this example. Imagine snagging a vintage dresser
Okay.
at a garage sale for like $20.
Wow.
And then with a bit of sanding, painting, and
Yeah.
new hardware,
Right.
you transform it into a showstopper worth hundreds.
That's the magic of upcycling.
I love it.
It's creative,
Yes.
eco-friendly,
Right.
and it can be seriously profitable.
I'm totally on board.
Awesome.
So let's dive into this step-by-step guide.
Okay, let's do it.
Where do we begin?
Well, first you need to master the craft.
Okay.
Think about what kind of upcycled furniture you're drawn to.
Uh?
Are you into restoring antique finishes?
Hmm.
Or maybe you love experimenting with bold paint colors,
Oh.
modern designs.
I'm picturing distressed wood,
Uh-huh.
vintage hardware for that farmhouse look,
Nice.
or maybe clean lines,
Yeah.
and geometric shapes for a mid-century modern vibe.
I love it exactly. Once you have a style in mind,
Okay.
it's time to learn the techniques.
Okay.
The guide recommends online courses,
Wow.
YouTube tutorials,
Yeah.
or even just experimenting on your own to
Yeah.
find what works best for you.
There are so many resources available these days.
I know.
It's like having a master class at your fingertips.
Totally. Once you've got a handle on the techniques,
Okay.
sourcing your materials is key.
All right.
We talked about thrift stores,
Yeah.
online marketplaces,
Yeah.
but don't forget about the free options,
Oh, yeah.
like Free Cycle, or even just keeping an eye out for curbside treasures.
Score. So once we've got our materials,
Okay.
it's time to set up shop.
Right.
Do we need a dedicated workspace?
Having a designated area is definitely helpful, whether it's a corner of your garage,
Yeah.
a spare room, or even a small rented studio.
Okay.
Good ventilation is crucial,
Yeah.
especially if you're working with paints or stains.
Safety first.
Right.
The guide also mentions essential tools and supplies.
Okay.
Sanders, drills, paint sprayers,
Yeah.
brushes, fabrics, the whole works.
You don't need to buy everything at once, though.
Okay.
Start with the basics
Right.
and gradually expand your toolkit
Okay.
as you gain experience and take on more complex projects.
Speaking of complexity,
Yeah.
I'm curious about pricing.
Okay.
How do we find that sweet spot
Ooh, good question.
between profitability
Yeah.
and affordability?
It's a balancing act.
Oh.
You need to factor in your material costs,
Right.
the time you invest,
Mm,
any overhead expenses like rent or marketing.
okay.
But it's also about knowing the market and what buyers are willing to pay.
The guide suggests doing some market research,
Yeah.
checking out prices at local antique shops,
Uh-huh.
browsing online marketplaces like Etsy
Great idea.
can give you a sense of what similar pieces they're selling for.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to charge a premium for custom designs or intricate work, though.
Okay.
People are often willing to pay more
Right.
for something truly unique and tailored to their tastes.
Okay, so we've sourced our materials,
All right.
we've honed our skills,
Yes.
and we've got a pricing strategy.
We're in business.
Now, how do we get our upcycled masterpieces in front of potential buyers?
That's the next step.
It seems like online platforms are the way to go.
You're absolutely right.
Okay.
The online marketplace offers incredible reach
Yeah.
and allows you to connect with buyers far and wide.
Let's explore some options.
Let's do it.
What are the pros and cons of different platforms?
Well, Etsy is a natural fit
Okay.
for handmade and unique items.
Mm-hmm.
Their users appreciate the artistry and sustainability of upcycled pieces.
Right.
You'll want to invest in high-quality photos
Yeah.
and craft compelling descriptions that highlight the story behind your pieces.
I love that it's not just about selling a product.
Right.
It's about selling a story.
Exactly. What about eBay?
What about eBay? Yeah, I feel like it's more of a mixed bag in terms of audience.
You're right.
Okay.
eBay offers a wider reach,
Uh-huh.
but can be more competitive.
Oh.
You'll need to utilize strategic keywords
Right.
to stand out and attract buyers,
Yeah.
specifically looking for upcycled or vintage furniture.
So it's about tailoring your approach to the platform.
Exactly.
What about Facebook Marketplace?
Okay.
Seems more localized.
Facebook Marketplace is great for connecting with buyers in your area,
Yeah.
especially if you're selling larger items and want to avoid the hassle and expense of shipping.
Makes sense.
Offering local pickup options can be a win-win.
This guide also mentions Cherish.
Okay.
What's the deal with that platform?
Cherish caters to a more discerning clientele.
Okay.
Interested in vintage and designer furniture?
All right.
If your style leans towards a higher end or curated pieces,
Mm-hmm.
Cherish might be worth exploring.
Ooh, fancy. So many options.
I know.
And of course, we can't forget about the power of social media.
Right.
Instagram and Pinterest are visual platforms
Absolutely.
where you can showcase your work, build your brand,
Yeah.
and drive traffic to your online store.
Think of them as your virtual showroom where
Yeah.
you can engage with potential buyers,
Uh-huh.
share behind-the-scenes content,
Right.
and even host live demonstrations of your upcycling techniques.
I love that idea.
It's about creating a community
Yeah.
around your brand and showcasing the passion and creativity behind your pieces.
It's not just about selling furniture. It's about sharing your love for upcycling
Yeah.
and inspiring others to embrace a more sustainable and stylish lifestyle.
Absolutely. Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of upcycled furniture. We've covered a lot of ground from sourcing materials and mastering techniques to setting up shop and exploring online platforms.
I feel like I'm already halfway to launching my own upcycling empire.
That's the spirit.
But let's get real for a second.
Okay.
What are some of the challenges that upcyclers typically face?
Right.
And how can we overcome them?
You're right. Every business has its hurdles.
Mm-hmm.
One common challenge is finding those diamond-in-the-rough pieces.
Yeah.
You know, it's not always easy to source quality furniture that's structurally sound and has that upcycling potential.
Yeah, I can see how sifting through piles of discarded furniture could get overwhelming.
It can.
Any tips for making the sourcing process more efficient?
Building relationships is key.
Okay.
Get to know the staff at your local thrift stores, antique shops, and even estate sale organizers.
Okay.
They often have an eye for quality.
Yeah.
And can tip you off to hidden gems.
Ooh, I like it.
Or even set aside pieces that fit your style.
It's like having a network of furniture scouts
Exactly.
working for you.
Yeah.
What about shipping?
Okay.
Especially with larger pieces that can be a logistical and financial challenge.
You're spot on. Shipping costs can eat into your profits.
Yeah.
And there's always the risk of damage in transit.
Right.
That's why partnering with reliable shipping companies
Right.
that specialize in handling furniture is essential.
So it's worth doing some research
Yes.
and getting quotes from multiple providers to find the best fit.
Exactly. Compare their services, look for experience in transporting delicate or oversized items, and make sure they have a good track record.
Okay, shipping sorted.
All right.
Now let's talk time management.
Okay.
Juggling, sourcing, crafting, marketing,
It's a lot.
and all the other aspects of running a business
Yeah.
can feel like a full-time job in itself.
Yeah.
Even if you're starting as a side hustle.
Time management is definitely a challenge for many entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Especially when you're wearing multiple hats.
Right.
The key is to create a schedule that works for you
Okay.
and stick to it as much as possible.
So blocking out specific times for sourcing, crafting, marketing,
Yeah.
and even those less glamorous administrative tasks can help maintain a sense of balance.
Absolutely. Break down those big, overwhelming tasks into smaller, manageable chunks.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to delegate or outsource tasks that you're not particularly good at
What?
or that drain your time and energy.
It's like building a team, even if it's just a virtual team of freelancers or collaborators.
Exactly.
Speaking of teamwork, what about standing out in a crowded market?
Okay.
There are so many talented upcyclers out there.
There are.
Though we make our brand shine.
That's where your unique style, brand identity, and marketing savvy come into play.
Okay.
Think about your target audience, your values,
Yeah.
and what makes your pieces truly special.
So it's about more than just creating beautiful furniture.
It is.
It's about creating a brand that resonates with people,
Right.
telling a story and offering something unique.
Exactly. Are you drawn to bold colors and eclectic patterns? Do you specialize in restoring antique furniture to its former glory?
Okay.
Or maybe you have a knack for transforming vintage pieces into modern minimalist masterpieces.
It's about finding your niche within the upcycling world
Yes.
and letting your personality shine through in your work.
Once you have a clear sense of your brand identity,
Right.
you can translate that into your marketing materials, your online presence,
Yeah.
and even the way you photograph and describe your pieces.
Right.
Consistency is key.
It's about creating a cohesive and memorable brand experience for your customers.
Exactly.
And speaking of customers, let's tackle a challenge that many creatives face.
Oh, yeah.
Pricing your work.
Right.
It can be tough to strike that balance between valuing your time and skills
It is.
and staying competitive in the market.
You've hit a crucial point.
Okay.
It's essential to find that sweet spot
Right.
where you're fairly compensated for your work
Yep.
while also attracting buyers.
Right.
Remember, you're not just selling a product.
Okay.
You're selling your creativity,
Right.
your craftsmanship, and the hours of love and labor you've poured into each piece.
That's a good reminder. I tend to undervalue my creative work,
Yeah.
but I'm learning to recognize its worth.
Good.
So how do we go about pricing upcycled furniture effectively?
There are several factors to consider.
Okay.
The cost of materials, the time invested,
Mm-hmm.
the complexity of the project,
Right.
and even your overhead costs like rent, utilities, and marketing expenses.
Yeah. Okay.
One approach is to calculate your hourly rate
Okay.
and multiply that by the number of hours you spent on a piece.
Then add in the cost of materials and a markup for profit.
Right. Absolutely. But it's also crucial to do your market research.
Okay.
Check out prices for similar pieces in your area and online to see what buyers are willing to pay.
So browsing local antique shops,
Yeah.
scrolling through online marketplaces like Etsy or Cherish,
Uh-huh.
and even checking out what other upcyclers are charging can give us a benchmark.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to adjust your prices as you gain experience and build a reputation for quality craftsmanship.
Okay.
The more sought after your pieces become,
Yeah.
the more you can command in the market.
That's encouraging.
Yeah,
It shows there's real potential for growth and profitability in this business.
there is.
But let's be honest, not every customer is a dream client.
Right.
How do we deal with those who haggle relentlessly,
Yeah.
demand unreasonable discounts, or change their minds at the last minute?
Dealing with difficult customers is a part of running any business,
It is.
but it's especially important for creatives to protect their time, energy, and creative spirit.
Yeah,
Remember, you have the right to decline a sale
right.
or refuse a custom order if you feel a customer is being disrespectful or if their requests don't align with your brand values.
So it's about setting boundaries
It is.
and recognizing that you don't have to work with everyone.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself and your pricing.
Right.
If a customer constantly tries to lowball you,
Mm-hmm.
it's a sign they may not value your work or understand the effort that goes into creating these unique pieces.
It's better to walk away from a sale than to resent the project or undervalue yourself.
Absolutely. And remember, for every difficult customer,
Yeah.
there are countless others out there
Yeah.
who appreciate your creativity, your craftsmanship,
Right.
and the unique value you bring to the table.
That's a great reminder. It's easy to get bogged down by those negative experiences,
It is.
but focusing on the positive relationships and the customers who truly value your work is essential.
Absolutely.
Speaking of staying positive, let's talk about staying ahead of the curve in the ever-evolving world of design.
Okay.
How do we keep our finger on the pulse of the latest trends and techniques?
The world of design is constantly evolving,
Mm-hmm.
so it's important to stay curious and keep learning. There are so many resources available,
Yeah.
both online and offline.
Like design blogs, Pinterest, Instagram, online publications, industry events.
Yes.
Even just browsing antique shops and flea markets for inspiration.
Exactly. Surround yourself with visuals, connect with other designers and makers,
Okay.
and pay attention to what's catching your eye.
It's like a constant treasure hunt for inspiration.
It is.
And what about pushing the boundaries of upcycling itself?
Okay.
Are there ways to incorporate new techniques or materials
Absolutely.
to keep things fresh and exciting?
Don't be afraid to experiment with different techniques, materials, and styles.
Okay.
Incorporate unexpected elements, try new finishes, and play with textures.
I'm imagining combining reclaimed wood with sleek metal accents, or maybe incorporating vintage textiles into upholstery projects.
I love it.
The possibilities are endless.
Exactly. The more you experiment, the more you'll discover your unique style and create truly innovative and one-of-a-kind pieces.
Okay.
And don't underestimate the power of networking. Connect with other upcyclers, designers, and makers.
Right.
Share your work, learn from each other,
Mm-hmm.
and support one another's creative journeys.
It's like building a community of like-minded creatives
It is.
who inspire and uplift each other.
The upcycling community is incredibly welcoming and supportive.
That's awesome.
Sharing knowledge, collaborating on projects, and even just celebrating each other's successes can make the journey even more rewarding.
I love that. It's not just a business, it's a movement, a community, a way of life.
It is.
So as we wrap up this section of our deep dive,
Okay.
what's the one piece of advice you'd give to someone feeling overwhelmed by the challenges of starting an upcycled furniture business?
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
It's normal to feel overwhelmed at times.
Right.
But remember why you started this journey in the first place.
Okay.
Focus on the joy of creating,
Yeah.
the satisfaction of transforming something old into something beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
and the positive impact you're making on the environment.
Welcome back to the deep dive.
It's been cool.
We've explored so much
We have.
in the world of upcycled furniture.
Yes.
From sourcing and crafting to marketing and navigating challenges.
It's been a lot.
I'm feeling so inspired
Good.
to get started.
I want to leave you with some key takeaways and food for thought
Okay.
to fuel your creative fire.
Perfect. I'm ready to soak it all up.
What's the most important thing to remember as we embark on our upcycling adventures?
I'd love to know.
Remember that upcycling is more than just a business
Okay.
or a way to make a profit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a conscious choice
Yeah.
to reduce waste,
Right.
minimize our environmental impact,
Yeah.
and breathe new life into discarded objects.
It's about being a responsible steward of our resources
Yes.
and finding creative solutions to the challenges of consumerism.
Exactly. And you're tapping into a growing movement.
Okay.
Consumers are becoming more discerning.
Yeah.
They're craving authenticity,
Mhm.
uniqueness,
Right.
and sustainability.
Makes sense.
And they're willing to pay for it.
So we're not just creating beautiful furniture.
Right.
We're meeting a genuine need
Yes.
in the market.
People are tired of mass-produced pieces
Yeah.
that lack character and soul.
Totally.
They want something with a story,
Right.
something that reflects their values.
Exactly. And that's what makes upcycling so special.
Mm-hmm.
Each piece has a history,
Yes.
a past life,
Right.
and you're giving it a new chapter,
Uh-huh.
a new purpose.
You're transforming something old and forgotten
Yeah.
into something beautiful and functional.
It's like giving these pieces a second chance to shine.
It is.
And the best part is there's no limit to what you can create.
I know, right?
You can work with a variety of materials,
Yeah.
styles, and techniques.
Right.
You can specialize in restoring antique furniture.
Yeah.
Or you can create modern, eclectic pieces
Mm-hmm.
that reflect your unique vision.
The possibilities are truly endless.
I love it.
It's about finding your niche, exploring different techniques.
Yeah. And letting your creativity run wild.
Right.
Don't be afraid to experiment, push boundaries,
Yeah.
and try new things.
I'm already picturing all sorts of exciting combinations.
Yeah.
Reclaimed wood with industrial metal accents,
Uh-huh.
vintage textiles, repurposed into upholstery.
Cool.
Maybe even incorporating stained glass.
Wow.
Or mosaic tiles. It's
Wow.
like a giant creative playground.
And the more you experiment,
Yeah.
the more you'll discover your unique style.
Right.
Hone your skills
Yeah.
and create truly one-of-a-kind pieces
Right.
that stand out from the crowd.
Right.
Remember, you're not just following trends.
Yep.
You're setting them.
That's such an empowering thought.
It is.
So we've got the inspiration, the skills, the passion.
We do.
What's the one piece of advice you'd give to someone who's ready to take the leap and launch their own upcycled furniture business?
Start small, dream big,
Okay.
and never stop learning.
All right.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Yeah.
That's how we grow and evolve.
Right. As creatives and entrepreneurs, surround yourself with a supportive community,
Mm-hmm.
stay curious,
Yeah.
and most importantly, have fun.
That's such great advice.
Upcycling is a journey,
Yeah.
not a destination. It's
Yeah.
about embracing the process, the
Yeah.
challenges,
Yeah.
the triumphs.
Absolutely.
And it's about finding joy in transforming something old
Yeah.
into something beautiful and meaningful.
Beautifully said. And this is just the beginning
Yes.
of our exploration.
Right.
We'll be diving deeper into specific aspects
Yeah.
of the upcycled furniture business
Right.
in future episodes covering techniques, marketing strategies,
Yeah.
and specific platforms.
Absolutely.
So if you're feeling inspired
Yeah.
to start your own upcycling adventure,
Good.
stay tuned for more deep dives.
Yes.
We'll be here to guide you every step of the way.
Until then, happy upcycling.
Happy upcycling. Happy upcycling.